It's great to see all you guys, and honestly, I miss you guys because you guys have been pretty doggone good, especially at the end of the year. And I had a great summer, not a good summer. So anybody asked me how my summer was, it was a great summer. I got a chance to do a lot of good things. I had a chance to reflect on a lot of things. I watched every game backwards. The 9-game elimination games that we won, amazing. I wouldn't trade for anything in the world. It was an unbelievable run that our guys had, and I'm proud of it. And I'm proud for everybody that is part of Wolfpack Nation, the former players, the current players, just the alumni. It was so great to run into a bunch of people this summer, and you know that you won a lot of games when you get a bunch of grown men that are crying and saying, what a great tournament run, and we were excited. ACC champions, and those 5 days in DC were incredible, and they were incredible because our team loaded that plane to go to DC, understanding what the task was, and obviously we did a great job at it, doing it one game at a time and getting to the championship, and obviously making the tournament. And when we went into the tournament, we just didn't even want to go to the tournament after having such a great ACC run. We wanted the opportunity to go win a national championship and make it to the Final Four, and eventually losing to a really good Purdue team. I think it was a very successful season for us, and so we move on. We put that in the past, excited about the banner that we will eventually hang, but we start practice. It'll be 2 of those banners now, Southwestern Region champion, then ACC champion, Final Four, and then we move on and we start practice on Monday, and this group was very focused and excited about practice. So, questions?
Kevin, just since this time last year, you won the ACC championship, you got a contract extension, you got a basic pay, you got bonuses. Are you the same coach as you were a year ago this time?
Oh, no way.
Or has success got into that a little bit?
No, I am the same coach, and I'm glad you asked that, Chip. I go back, and I think I've told you this to you guys over the last 7 years, is I do a lot of reflection in the off season on myself, on our team. How could we get better? And you go back and look at a lot of things, but nothing's changed. We were, in my opinion, panicked at the end of the year because we lost the last 4 games. They were the same team going to the tournament, but we knew that we could be a really good basketball team, but we just stopped making mistakes. And so to answer your question, no, I'm the same. I'm always going to be happy. I'm always going to be excited, and I get an opportunity to work with a new group, and that's what really motivates me.
You might be the same, but how have you improved as a coach in the last 5 or 6 months?
Well, I was really good, but I don't know what type of post coach I'm going to be now with DJ Burns gone. I just, all my life, obviously I've had some really good players and really good post guys, but we play with a lot of guards and play through guards, and that guy, I don't think we understand the impact that he had on our program because he was unique. And, I went out, I'll be honest with you, I went out and tried to find anybody I thought could be similar to DJ Burns, and guess what, I found no one. But we got good players, but they're different. And so, as far as a different coach, nothing different. I understand I'm a little bit more calmer than I am. Maybe that's because I'm getting older, one more year older, but as far as the way we prepare, the way we do things is pretty much the same.
What do you make of the new guys at the post now at this point with Brandon Huntley Hatfield adding to Ben Middlebrooks?
Yeah, so I have 2 great proven centers in our league. Ben obviously where he started at Clemson, and then making the run that he made, and I think back in every game I can point to a guy who was really good. You think about we don't get past Texas Tech if he doesn't have that great night, and so you just saw Ben mature. And so he's going to be really good. And Brandon, being at Louisville, though they didn't win a lot of games, his stats and his numbers were really good. And those 2 guys are really unique. They're different than DJ Burns. They're more pick and pop guys that can get up and down the floor a lot better than he can. And they're really good on ball screen defense. So I think I got 2 guys, and then when we throw Ish in there, Ish can play some 4 and some 5. So I got three really solid front court guys that I really like that could play some 5-4s.
Coach Keatts, what's sort of the healthy balance as a head coach,
Yeah.
that you have to experience as far as reflecting on last year's tournament run, but now getting ready to set your eyes forward to this upcoming season?
Yeah, it's different. I mean, if I had 7 or 8 guys back, we would talk about a lot more. But, we got 5 guys back, and of those 5, 3 guys really played. And so, this in college basketball, it's a 1-year deal now. And so, though we're excited and pumped up about it, we have to turn the page. And, we got 3 or 4 more days where we're going to celebrate what we did last year, and then we're going to move on Monday and be ready with this different group. And I got so many new pieces, but I do say the 5 guys that are back, 3 of them that played a lot of them, which is Michael, JT, and Ben, have been great leaders for us. And, obviously trying to develop the culture, keep the culture to where it is, and, how hard we play and what we talk about.
To follow up on that, you don't see a lot of people stay in one place for 4 years, and Breon Pass has been playing behind some really good guards the last few years, and he's going to a senior year now. How do you expect him to step up for a senior year, and then what has he meant to the team, was just him being able to play his role and being ready when his number's called?
Yeah, I think we should appreciate Breon Pass, because I said this before, very seldom when you see a guy start at a Power 5 school and obviously end up graduating there. They will either transfer or they'll go to the pros early or whatever it has to be. I'm excited about him. He'll be in the mix this year as an older guy, understanding, the 2 guys that I think have really benefited from the run that may not have played a lot would be Breon and also Dennis Parker Jr. Because sometimes, as you sit and watch, being able to watch, it's just about like playing too, because you get a chance to see people's mistakes and how you can get better, and you can tell Breon has a little focus and wants to be in the mix more.
You mentioned Ish. How did that kind of come about and kind of bring him in a little bit later?
Yeah, we talked about whether we were going to go with 12 scholarship guys this year, and at one point we thought about maybe we would go with 12 and hold a scholarship for possibly second semester. And we got to talking and calling around, and we figured out that Ish was a good player and somebody that could fit into the way we wanted to play. We lost a really good rebounder in Mo. Ish is different. Ish can play some 4 and 5, but it gives us the versatility to move him to different positions because of his ability to pick and pop.
Coach, coming off the run that you just made, do you put as much stock into the regular season as you would have before, knowing how tough it is, when your back's against the wall, the way you guys played at the end of last year?
Well, how can I answer that question with somebody being disturbed by it? No. I think you have to play the entire year. It's I said this before. I will say this again. What's disappointing is that we've got a great ACC basketball league, and obviously now we're going to 18. What was disappointing that if we didn't make our run and we don't make the tournament by winning the tournament, the ACC gets 4 teams out of 15 into the tournament. I am hopeful that all of our ACC teams have a great November and December, because it seems like the committee's more valuing what you do in the early seasons opposed to the tournament. And so we don't have the luxury, and no one in our conference has the luxury of waiting to the tournament. We all have to win early if we want more teams in the tournament.
Speaking of that, you have Kansas on the schedule. I mean, does that kind of help kind of build that resume?
Yeah, what was I thinking? I mean, we wanted to be challenged, and I said this before, if we have opportunities to start great home and homes with programs, we would do that. And it presented itself to us to play Kansas, and we get a chance to go, and our guys get a chance early to play in that atmosphere. I would imagine they will be number 1 and number 2 when we do travel there, but we also get a chance for them to come back here and play us. So I think it's a good deal for us, and we're excited about it. We're excited. I know I'm gonna get questions about when's the schedule gonna be released. Somebody was waiting; they didn't want to start the press conference that way. But thank y'all. I'll tell you, I answer it now. You'll have the entire schedule probably on Tuesday, and there will be ACC included. We were so close to releasing just the non-conference, and then we said, hey, the ACC schedule's gonna be ready too, so we're gonna release it all. I think I would guess, without getting in trouble, I would guess that you probably would see it sometime on Tuesday.
Coach, what's been your impression of the three freshmen that you brought in, and maybe as overall and individually, what's really stood out, where you see them fitting in?
Yeah, I love what they bring to the table, and none of those guys act as though they're freshmen. You know, they all believe that they can play. I mean, those guys, I mean, you look at Bryce and you look at Paul, the one thing that stood out about both of those guys is they both added about 10 pounds of muscle, so that when you guys get a chance to see them in a little bit, you'll see a bigger version of them. But there are two guys who can play some 2 and 3 that has a chance to be really good in this program, and Trey's unique. Trey's combo guard that's super athletic, that can play both 2 and 1. Those 3 guys will compete for playing time. It's not like we're bringing them in as freshmen, even though we're in their transfer era, thinking that they won't play. I mean, those guys are going to have great opportunities to get on the floor.
Bryce is the youngest one out of all those guys, obviously, reclassing to the 2024 class to even be here. What have you seen from him that shows you that he has the maturity to play at this level?
Yeah, and I apologize too, because Ish came before Bryce, right? Bryce
Yep.
was the
Mhm.
Bryce was the third
Most recent,
guy.
yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Bryce is good, and I caution everyone for thinking, because, and I've read this a couple times, because he is the last guy that, like, folks have talked about, maybe Bryce was coming here to be a redshirt guy, and that was not ever in the plans. If it happens with any of their freshmen, we'll talk about it, if we don't feel like that they will play enough minutes, but he's recruited to come in and play right now. It's hard to recruit guys if you think they're just gonna come redshirt. He's gonna have every opportunity. Now, that being said, if we get to the, close to the season, and I feel like none of those freshmen are ready, we will have a different conversation, but they're all gonna compete starting on Monday for an opportunity to play.
Kevin, what's been your favorite moment with this team so far? I mean, take us into the locker room or on the practice court with something that sticks out in your mind with them.
Yeah, they're just, this is a great bunch, and for the first time in my career here, we got a bunch of self-starters. We probably, I would say these guys, we got 98% of our team outside of us, when we're allowed to work them on it. Right now, we're in a period where they can only be 4 hours on the court with us. Those guys live in the gym. They love to play pickup. They get after each other. They're developing some type of chemistry. We've done some top golf. We do it through tailgating. We have a pretty good tailgate over there. And, we're gonna have a couple of, we're gonna take them. Actually, I'm taking them out to dinner tonight. Just so we can get together. And the one thing that we're trying to do is we're trying to force chemistry or develop chemistry. People can use it one way or the other. But with us, we're trying to, one thing about the group last year, that bond was so tight that when we got towards the end of the year, we were prepared for March. Like every coach says, let's get prepared for March. And so this group, I want them to get together a little bit more than they are right now, with new people.
Coach Doran took the football team on a camping trip, and I know Hubert takes his guys to the Outer Banks. Are you going to do something bigger like that, or just kind of what y'all are doing now?
Yeah, we're of course we're gonna go bigger than No, we'll have our annual trip to Wilmington in the next couple of weeks, and we do that and get out on the beach, and it's not all fun. Like you guys think, well, we're going down to Wilmington to just have fun, and it's not all about that. It's a bonding trip, and we learn so much about each other and everything else. But we'll have that trip here in a couple of weeks or so.
Can we get a little ethereal here? You talk about the chemistry.
Yeah.
Is there something that when you can kind of tell, oh, this group has that chemistry when everything starts clicking? It looks like something like last year.
Yeah, it starts, we had an hour this morning, and I won't say which team, because one team just got their butt kicked this morning, and it was defensively. It was everything. We pressed the entire hour, and, you can just see guys understanding where to be on the court. It's weird because we talk about so much of offensive chemistry to win games. I think one of our biggest strengths at the end of the year, our defensive chemistry was so good. And that's what we're starting to develop a little bit earlier with this group. This group is a little further along defensively than the other group. Last year, we were further along offensively because we had some good players that returned.